And welcome in live inside DLS Weekly, our Middletown debut here at the Buffalo Wild Wings, and we have an action-packed show for everyone here on this fine Wednesday night. Nick Allison-Drini joined by Jason Winchell and Mike Lang. Guys, glad to have you back up here for a show. We took a little week hiatus, but here we are back and ready to talk some high school sports. Guys, how we feeling on this Wednesday? Woke up to some snow today.
Yeah, I drove home in some snow this morning. I had to scrape off my car at 6:30 in the morning. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but I'm glad it was only a little. We were able to get the games in last night and more today.
Mike, how we feeling? Good to see you again.
We're feeling full. We just had dinner. Usually you eat after the show, but today we eat before the show. So I'm well fed and ready to go.
All right, we're getting some word that we need to speak up out here. We got a lot of great guests out here ready to go. We got two teams that we're going to talk to. We've got the Appoquinimink girls program. They're here. We're going to talk with them shortly here just after our first break. And then Middletown boys basketball also here to join us after the Appo girls. We've got an action-packed show. We'll get to our new rankings for the week in terms of all of our winter sports. And then, of course, we've got top plays, top performers, and our roundtable discussion here to get to in a little while. And, of course, that is all subject to change. So let's dive right in here, guys. We had a great game yesterday between Howard and William Penn, a game that ended up going into overtime. Howard squeaking it out with a Richards Powell 3 there in overtime. What a game that was. Coach Nick and I had a chance to check that one out yesterday, but we were all talking a little bit before we came in about the parity in boys basketball this year. It's going to be a fun season.
Yeah, I'll just say, just throw out the rankings and the boys this year.
Don't even look at them.
It's going to be 24 teams in the tournament. 15 of those 24 probably have a chance to win it all.
That's really what it's been so far. Mike, again, we've had some great games this week. I'm sure you've been all over the place here as we almost head to our first break here on DLS Weekly. But talk a little bit about what your week, where you've been, and the things you've seen so far.
So for the boys, I was at Salesianum last night, and I probably shouldn't say this here since we're in Middletown, but the Sal's are really coming together. They're playing great basketball right now. They lost to William Penn, but they beat Middletown last week. Last night they beat Appo. I'm going to probably sneak out the back door now. But they're really playing well. They got Tower Hill tomorrow night, rematch of the state championship, and then they play Sanford on Saturday night. So, not because of my alma mater, but the Sal's are really playing well, and they're fun to watch. I also saw a couple of girls' games. I'm trying to get. We have the SL24 this weekend.
Right,
lots of good
week.
basketball this weekend, so I'll be seeing some boys teams I haven't seen. I've seen most of them, but a couple I haven't seen. I hope to check out this Saturday. But this is the week I've been waiting for. When I looked at the schedule, it's packed, and it's good to see.
Yeah, we got about 4 weeks left in the regular season here for most of our winter sports. It is going to be, again, a fun final 4 weeks as we get into playoff time. It is literally anyone's game in a majority of our winter sports here in 2022-2023. So, guys, we're going to take our first break here on DLS Weekly. When we come back, our first guest of the evening, we're going to be joined by the Appoquinimink girls basketball team right up here. They're going to join us after the break. We'll be right back on DLS.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home.
Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home, your community.
Welcome back live in the DLS Weekly. Nick Alessandrini, Mike Lang, and now we have the luxury of being joined by the Appoquinimink girls basketball team. Guys, thanks for joining us, coming in 11-3. A lot to get into about your season, but if we just want to go through, you guys introduce yourselves, and then we'll get into it. Coach, we'll start with you.
Coach Kevin Smith. I'm the head coach.
I'm Deja Martin, a junior.
I'm Lamai Dotson, a senior.
They got this down.
I'm Kyla Ree. I'm a junior.
I'm Sophia Montabell. I'm a junior.
I'm Alyssa Cresto, and I'm a senior.
Well, again, thank you all for joining us. Coach?
Coach Eddie Chavis, assistant
So
coach.
Coach Smith, Coach Chavis, and Appoquinimink girls, 11-3 on the season. Thanks for taking the time out of your Wednesday to join us here at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, let's start first. We always like to start with the hard questions, so that's where we'll begin. You're here at Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm sure you guys are getting ready to eat or have already eaten. What is your go-to wing sauce here at B-Dubs when you guys come and get something to eat here? I know it was a hard one. We'll start off tough.
Asian Zing.
Asian Zing.
Garlic Parmesan.
Honey barbecue.
There you go.
Three different ones to
Yeah,
start.
that's
There we go.
right.
Like the
Buffalo.
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 So 2 buffaloes.
And Alyssa.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Teriyaki.
Teriyaki. There we go. So we got a nice.
That's a good range over there, Nick. Yeah. All right, ladies, 11-3. Our coaches, we'll talk maybe one coach and one player. We're going to talk about the start to the season. I know you've been off since last Thursday when we streamed you guys against Cape Henlopen. But Coach Smith, if you could just talk a little bit about maybe your expectations coming in and assess your team thus far. I mean, 11-3 that's a pretty darn good season.
To be honest, that's what I expected. We had a lot of the girls were young last year. We didn't have they didn't play together their first year together. We went 14-6, and then coming into this season, we expected to be probably the better team in this conference. And so far, they've done exactly what we've expected to do. Ladies?
Yeah, one of the ladies wants to take a crack at that. But how do you think the season's going so far?
I feel like the season is going good. We got better from last year, building as a team, and doing really good.
And anybody else? We get it? Anybody else?
Okay. I feel like at the beginning of the season it was a little rough start because we lost a few key players. But I feel like as we went on, we just kept working together well, and we got our job done.
And Coach Chavis, you want to touch on that a little bit? I mean, Coach Smith talked about the difference a little bit from last year and this year. What, in your eyes, has been kind of the difference between this year's team and last year's team at this point in the season?
Well, I mean, I wasn't here last year, but, I mean, just from the beginning of the season to now, I mean, just the growth, the chemistry. I mean, to be a real good team, it takes both, not just playing basketball, but being able to actually work together, to gel together, being able to have communication and be honest with each other. So all of those things, the same thing that Coach Smith said.
And, Coach, you mentioned your first year, obviously, coming into this program. What stood out to you maybe right away as soon as you stepped foot on that hardwood, practice or day number one?
Well, I mean, I had a lot of background knowledge on the team. Obviously me and Coach Smith are close, so we talked a lot. And I coached previously at Appo as one of the boys' coaches. So just that, they had great talent. They had shooters, they had ballers. But being able to always gel together and know each other like the back of your hand, and to be able to have more eyes, to be able to work with guards and work with bigs and be able to do a lot of skill things. So that was one of the things that kind of intrigued me the most. Obviously as coaches, we don't, we want to be able to make players better, and we want players to have that same energy and want to get better as well. So with these ladies, that's what it is. Like, they come in the gym, it's business. You know what I mean? So you don't really see that a lot with girls.
So you mentioned the Flight A schedule, and how many games do you have? How many Flight A games do you have left on the schedule?
We have three.
Three.
So we have Mount Pleasant, we have Newark, and William Penn.
And William
Those are
Penn.
the three left.
So I know you guys are right at the top of Flight A. How important is it for the ladies to say you're the Flight A champions? Is that something that meaningful heading into the state tournament? And I know you guys are going to be in the state tournament, but how much do you guys really want to take that Flight A
That
title?
was our first goal.
That's it.
First goal was the flight. Second goal to get a home game in the playoffs, and then to try to get a bye. That's been our goal the entire year.
How about you, Lamai? What's it like for Flight A play for you guys?
Yes, I feel like that been our goal from the beginning, and I feel like we have came a long way with growth and chemistry to where we can make it to be Flight A champs and be in the Bob, hopefully. So I feel like our team is very together as a unit.
And ladies, you mentioned the couple losses early on in this season, able to rebound nicely from those. Just talk a little bit about, great teams always have to deal with some adversity, and yours obviously came early on this season. Just talk about a little bit about those games and kind of how that's made you a little bit better off now to this point.
Want me to go first?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, to be honest with you, the first month of the season, we only lost one game with a complete team. That's Cape. We didn't have Lamai and Jody for the game against Archmere, which is our starting big and our first person off the bench, which are both bigs, and we got pounded on the boards that game. And then against Lackey, we were missing a guard. So going forward, getting the team together and being a complete unit, we've been on a roll. So we just, in the beginning of the year, we needed to find our identity. We lost some key players defensively. So the girls had to learn to pick up those different roles and who's going to do what. And once we've picked up what we need to do, the girls have been solid. They've been locked in on defense, and we've been playing well.
Maybe one of the ladies in the back wants to.
I think in the beginning, our losses we learned a lot from. It showed us what we didn't really have in the beginning of the season and what we needed to do moving forward and how we needed to progress. And I think because of those losses, we now are better than we ever have been. This is a great season for us.
Yeah, Nick, I told the girls I watched one of the games, the paddle game I was able to watch live, and I was impressed that you guys really, held the paddle was a kind of underrated team, and you really held it together. Tomorrow you play Odessa, and I know they're a 1-11, but it's a district rival, and you guys, I'm sure, know most or all the girls in that team. So going into playing somebody from the other side of town, what's the mindset? And one of the coaches want to go first about approaching a team that's struggling a little bit and not taking them lightly.
Well, you have to approach the team like the same way we approach everyone else. In practice, every girl knows what each girl can do. I'm a film junkie, so I watch each team like 3 or 4 times before we get to practice. So every girl know exactly what each girl can do, and we put in a plan about where we want to send girls, who we have to double team, things of that nature. So Odessa is no different. We're going to go in with a game plan and then try to execute it as best we can.
Kyla's hiding in the back. Maybe Kyla, talk about. She's trying, but that wasn't going to happen. Just talk about, Kyla, your approach. It's probably the same in every. I would imagine it's the same approach in every game.
Yes, I think if we work as a team and try our hardest and play good defense, we'll come out with the win.
Nick, just about the Odessa game, by the way, it's the Be Positive Foundation game, which is a big thing here in Delaware. So it's a good reason for people to go out and support Be Positive and the Apple or Odessa basketball teams.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. And Coach Smith named a few things already, ladies. Coach Chavis, as well as you all else, what are your keys to the game maybe in that game tomorrow? What do you guys have to do specifically, or maybe one thing that you think will really benefit you tomorrow night and allow you to come out with a victory?
I think that we all should lock in, but we had a great practice. We just need to come in as locked in and ready to, play the game. As Coach be telling us, he said never let your highs get too high and your lows get too low. So that, with that being said, I feel as though that we coming in with a mindset like let's just lock in and get this win and play good defense, play good offense, and come out with the win.
And you guys have had 8 days off, so I'm sure you're ready to get. You're probably tired of playing each other. You're probably ready to get back on the court.
Yeah, like we've been playing one game a week for the last maybe 3 or 4 weeks. So we're trying to, in practice, you want to preserve their bodies, not to run them as much, because we have these big breaks in between. We played the bulk of our season in the beginning. So now it's trying to preserve, trying to get through. We haven't been, knock on wood, a lot of injuries. So we've been shortened practices to an hour and a half to try to get pertinent things in so that we keep the girls as fresh as possible.
There you go. Gotta love that.
You should probably tell them.
And again, that's right. We're going to give you guys a chance here
you
now.
need the salesperson.
That's right.
in there.
Camera 3 right here on the right. Make your pitch now. If you want, your student body, friends, family to come out tomorrow night. Pitch them right now. You can look into that
right
camera
into
and
that
tell
camera
them
right there.
why they need to be there tomorrow night to check out
Who's
you
the
ladies in
salesperson over
action.
there?
That's right. There you go. Right there. Have at it.
Okay. I feel like I should come out to this game. We're going to get the dub. It's going to be a good game. And y'all going to see some good action because we a good team.
There it is.
All right.
There you go.
Deja sold me. If I could be down here, I would.
That's right. Everybody's going to be there. There you go. Mike,
Nick, we got
finish us off?
Yeah. You guys are warming up before the game tomorrow or at home back right down the street here at Apo. What's playing on the AirPods?
What's your
Our
favorite
playlist.
go-to song, warm-up song?
Yeah,
You're
what's
about
on the
to take
playlist?
The floor. What's on the playlist? Give me a song here. Everybody's going to go, so we'll start us off.
Yeah, Jamai's going to go first.
That's a good question, but we have a good playlist.
So there's some collaboration here, right? They're going to get
Nick is
together
like they
and
never
talk
watched
about
the
it.
show before.
I think we're going to get a group answer.
Yeah, we're
here.
getting
We're
a
getting
our,
a group answer.
our song that we normally play is "Calling All the Steppers to the Front." So I feel like that would be in our AirPods locked
So
in.
that's like a team selection then. That's a team.
I'm
That's
very
our
old,
first
Nick.
team selection. You
I
gotta like
don't,
that.
I don't know that one, but
That's a team
Yeah,
motivation.
that's a team one there. And coaches, you guys aren't off the hook either. Coach Smith, what are you gonna listen to? I mean, I'm sure you played back in your day when maybe you're playing coaching. That's right. What you got for us? What you got for us?
When I played in college, I used to listen to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
There we go.
That was
Yeah,
my
we were
thing.
talking about that at St. George's on Friday.
yeah, we got Coach Davis is not off the hook either.
That's right.
Oh man.
J. Cole, okay.
I mean, probably college, J. Cole, high school. Probably was listening to a lot of Cash Money Boys.
There we go.
I'm from North
They
Carolina,
still-
so down
there
south
we go.
was
Okay, North
big.
Carolina, like, they still in the playlist still to now. You would listen to that.
Oh,
maybe you're
yeah.
going for the coaching
Oh, yeah.
stuff too. There you go. You got to. It works both ways. As a player and a coach, you got to listen to the music either way. So, guys, really appreciate you all joining us here on a Wednesday. Any parting words for everybody at home ahead of the rest of your season?
Come out, support the rest of the year.
There you
girls.
go.
Girls and boys, we should be pretty good.
There we go. Thank you so
That's
much.
right.
Really appreciate Appoquinimink girls basketball joining us here on Delaware Live Sports Weekly. We're going to take one more break. When we come back, Middletown boys basketball going to join us up here coming up right after the break.
Thanks for having us. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, ladies. Thank you so much.
High Five Hospitality, founded in 2004 when three guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise to Delaware. To date, they operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings in Delaware and Maryland. Also the Stone Balloon and Limestone Barbecue. And let's not forget Eggspectation and 5 Jersey Mikes throughout Delaware. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality. High Five Hospitality, founded in 2004 when 3 guys...
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
but have you tried Premier? Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a
First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com. First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Today we're at Lupo Italian Kitchen in downtown Rehoboth Beach. Come check us out. Located inside the Hotel Rehoboth, Lupo serves coastal Italian cuisine with fresh pasta made in-house daily. Lupo features plenty of unique craft cocktails and an extensive award-winning all-Italian wine list. Popular dishes include lobster bucatini, veal meatballs, grilled swordfish, and eggplant parmesan. Lupo Italian Kitchen on Rehoboth Avenue, serving happy hour daily and dinner 7 days a week. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts.
Get the assurance that your HVAC system is what you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 25 years of experience in the heating, cooling, and plumbing industry. The team at Ambience Heating and Air Conditioning provides high-quality residential HVAC installations, maintenance, and repairs in new and older homes in the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania tri-state area. You may not realize it, but half of your energy costs go to heating and cooling. Make sure your energy dollars count and call us today for a free estimate. 302-239-HVAC. 302-239.
It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution, we are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution, we are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution, we are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution, we are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home.
Nick Alessandrini and Mike Lang. A special thanks to Coach Smith and Coach Chavis for the Apple girls basketball for joining us before the break. And now we have the luxury of being joined by our top-ranked team in the state of Delaware, 11-2, the Middletown Cavaliers coach Aziz Ali and company. Guys, just want to go through and introduce yourselves, and then we'll get started.
My name is Amir Cunningham.
Jaden Rogers.
Jaden McGee.
Ace Height.
Marcus Edmond.
Ty Henson.
The coach, Aziz Ali.
There you go. You like that, the coach. And guys, not sure if you were listening before we had the Appo girls on here. We lead off with the same question for everyone, so we'll just get right to it here. You're at Buffalo Wild Wings. Probably going to grab some wings while you're here. What's your go-to wing sauce or your top selection when you come grab some wings here at B-Dubs?
I'm just a honey barbecue kind of guy.
There you go. Barbecue, yeah.
I'm gonna probably say mild or hot. I like a little something spicy.
There you go.
I say like Caribbean jerk, my favorite.
There you go. Nick got a favorite.
I probably have to go with mild. Can't go wrong with mild.
I'll probably go with honey barbecue.
There you go. I got 2 honey barbecues.
Right.
Coach, what do you think?
I'm a garlic parmesan guy, extra wet.
There you go. You got a flavor? No, there you go. That's what I figured I would ask you anyway. I figured that's what you'd tell it.
All right.
That's right. Do you have a menu item? What do you grab when you get here? Bean burger. Oh, there you go. Hey.
All right, Coach. Team's 11-2. Had the win last week against Cape, and just talk a little bit about what your expectations were coming in, and how you think your team has met or exceeded them.
Our expectations coming in, we knew we had the talent to be really good. Our thing was to put it together, and not only on the basketball court, but off the basketball court. So far, I think expectations, we have met them, but all our goals that we set out, that we wanted to accomplish, we haven't reached any of them yet, and I still think we haven't played our best basketball.
And guys, now over to you. Obviously, the top-ranked team here in our Delaware Live Sports rankings. Just talk a little bit about your season and what you have experienced so far, and kind of what's different maybe than you thought coming in, or what stands out to you about this team in particular.
What I feel as though stands out about this team in particular is we're playing more together. We're playing as one, animosity or anything going around. So, I feel as though that's the biggest difference in why we had success so far.
I had a lot. I was expecting a lot going into the season because I feel as though the summer was like our summer workouts was tough. Like we was going through a lot of team bonding. So I feel like our chemistry is what sets us apart this year. I feel as though we're stronger as a team and allows us to get over some bridges that other teams may not be able to get over.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, we definitely had a strong bond coming into the season, working all through summer and fall, probably played over 100 games. So we knew what we had to do coming into the season. All we had to do was progress.
Well, Coach tell us all the time, we got to, be able to get better through success. So, that's really what sticks out to us, being able to stay humble and being able to still get better throughout the season, like us with winning and stuff like that. So, we're still trying to figure it out, but we're getting better.
We got a special group of guys. We all make sacrifices. We come in, night out. We work hard, and we got a good coach. So I just think all that together is a great combination.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm last, so everybody done already said everything, but to bounce my answer off of everybody else, basically I feel like we really close, we really a brotherhood, and we go through everything together, so I feel like we could really go far with that.
You could be first for this one if you want to hang on the microphone. You've had some, your schedule this year has included Dover, Seaford, Appoquinimink, William Penn, Salesianum. Tomorrow you get St. Andrews. They seem to play everybody tough. Saturday, real big one against Howard, and then Monday on 302 Sports against St. George's. How's that schedule prepare you guys for the postseason?
It lets us know that no matter what, we're gonna have to play 32 minutes of the game. We gotta make sure we work hard in practice, being more efficient, and listen better.
Well, having a great schedule, I think just with the team that we got and the work that we put in, I think it's a challenge that we're gonna face, but I feel like we're ready for it.
How about, Coach, you want to talk maybe about your scheduling and the philosophy of getting all those tough teams on there?
Well, the philosophy is you always want to play competition. You always want to get better. You want to play different styles. I think each team that you list play a different way. And then you also want to prepare yourself for the tournament. You want to be able to have those tough battles. You want to come out on top, of course. But if you don't, you want to be able to take something from it. And with this schedule, we're able to play different teams, good teams, and also go into different environments to understand when we get in the playoff what type of environment what type of environment it's going to be, and how we're going to see the team best shot and surviving to advance to the next round.
And guys, obviously coming into the season, we had you up there in the rankings, but you've been, at number 1 now for a couple of weeks and have had such a good season, 11 wins, just the 2 losses, just 1 coming in state. Has there been maybe a moment so far this season as a team that really sticks out, or that really has kind of been not a defining moment, but kind of a moment maybe in your guys' minds that can maybe progress you forward, or that can kind of allow you to think what you guys can do down the stretch at maybe a game, a play, just something you think about during the season that's been maybe a big point going forward for you guys?
I know I can speak for myself. I don't know about for everybody, but I know that first loss against Malvern Prep, just the last minute in the game, I felt as though we learned a lot from that because it was just a lot going on, and losing on that buzzer beater, I felt as though that was like a big moment that I felt like we learned from that every day.
Yep, there you go, perfect example. Anybody else have one? Or?
I know when we played Safer, it was a big win, nice win, but we did score 90 points, but our opponent also scored 70, so we got to really lock in on defense and not allow our opponent to score as many points.
There you go.
I know you guys have, we mentioned the Howard game on Saturday, and have any of you guys had a chance to play at the SL24, and are you looking forward to that atmosphere and the cause it's, from mental health and all that? Has anybody played in did Middletown play in it before?
No, this will be our first.
Oh, okay, so that's pretty. Yeah, it's become a pretty big event, Coach, in the 4 or 5 years it's been around. But just describe your experience at the SL24.
It was great. The atmosphere was great. All the broadcasts, it was all great. So I love playing in those events.
And they're playing Howard, so that should be an outstanding
That's
game.
going to be a good one for sure.
Nick saw Howard yesterday, so we've seen plenty of Howard this year.
That was a heck of a game yesterday, too. But, guys, again, obviously you talked about the gauntlet of a stretch coming up. We talked about the SL24. Is there anything, that you guys have to do? One key to the game. I know you got a bunch coming up. You got St. Andrews tomorrow. We talked about it. But if you guys maybe had one key to the game, Coach, your keys, and then maybe your guys' players' keys as well, what is the one thing you're going to have to do to try to get some victories here in each of those games? And I know they differ depending on the team, but just if I'd ask you straight up.
Well, it's definitely no secret. Rebound, for sure. Rebound, all caps. We got to rebound, we got to rebound, we got to rebound. And that's really it. And take care of the ball.
There you go, absolutely.
We really got to play together and have fun all year. All of us right here are seniors, and we got more seniors, but it's coming to an end for our high school career, and we just got to finish strong and had the most fun.
Absolutely. Anybody else?
We got a volunteer in the back.
I say defense. We really got to lock in on the defense end.
So there you go. Rebound, defense, play together. And then, guys, one more here before we let you get out of here and grab some wings and some dinner.
So Monday we have St. George's at Middletown, right, on Monday night. If you guys had look right there, we need the biggest salesperson there and tell your classmates and schoolmates why they need to be in the building on Monday night. Who's the salesman?
I won't really say we have one. But Monday, it's another in-conference game. We need everybody there. This is basically right now the 1 and the 2 in our conference. So this is a deal-breaker game. So this is for all the Bucks. We need everybody there. Come on, let's pack it out, Middletown.
There we go.
There we go. That's going to be a
ABCs,
good
man,
one.
always be closing. That's right.
And then last question before we let you guys go again here quickly. You got games Thursday, Saturday, Monday. What pregame warm-up song do you have? Let you pick one that you got in the headphones as you're warming up, as you're taking the floor. What's the one song, each of you individually, that you're listening to ahead of these big-time games?
Can we pick an artist?
Oh, so hey, we'll go with artists.
Artist,
Yeah, usually with artists.
probably G Herbo.
It's G Herbo, okay.
Really gets us going.
Yeah, Herbo definitely going to get me in that mood, but I'm also listening to Dirk. Yeah, just get fired up.
Herbo get me in that mood, but I'm big on Real Boston Richie right now. He The whole album, just give me there.
Coach also plays a lot of old school music too, like little Jay-Z, Beanie Siegel, stuff like that. Get us going.
I say some G Herbo, man.
Come on. I like it.
I'm gonna go with Meek, Baby, and a little bit of Herb.
There we go.
I'm a little John B. John B's slow, little R&B.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of slow it down, get my thoughts together. Just kind of play the game in my mind as far as what we need to do offensively, kind of the sets they run. So I like to slow my thinking down.
And that was as a player and a coach, or is that just a coach?
As a coach.
As a coach. Yeah, gotcha. There we go. What you got?
I'll probably say Little Baby.
Little Baby. There we go. That's some good answers there. Guys, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Middletown basketball, right now your top-ranked team here in the state of Delaware, and they've got a nice schedule coming up. St. Andrews Thursday, Howard on Saturday in the SL24, and then Monday right here on Delaware Live Sports against St. George's. Guys, really appreciate your time. Thank you. Of course, we're going to take another break. We'll come back. Some more high school sports talk here after the break. All right, guys, really appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Good luck this weekend. Yes, sir.
Matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home.
And welcome back inside DLS Weekly. A special thanks to the Appo girls and the Middletown boys basketball programs for joining us here at the Middletown B-Dubs location. Both of them phenomenal seasons, guys. 11-3 for the Appo girls, 11-2 for the boys, and they've got some tough games for each of them coming up here in the next week or so.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said, you listen to that Middletown schedule, and Appo's got some tough ones to wind down their Floyd A and conference, and both two teams, I think, that will probably have first-round byes and home games in the second round.
Now, you heard Coach Smith. That was one of the goals of theirs, win Flight A and then get a first-round home playoff game, and something that's very achievable for the Jags. And, of course, Middletown boys having a great season. Again, top-ranked team in the state for us coming into this week. And speaking of that, let's take a look now at the boys basketball top 10, the new rankings here for week number 4. We'll get started at number 10, previously unranked, but now starting to come together like usual, right, guys? Every year, Salesianum now at 7-6 at that 10th spot.
They're getting hot at the right time, but look, now they're 8-6 now after winning against Appo. But
that's right. Yeah.
There were 13 games, right? They have 7 left heading into last night. It was Appo, Tower Hill, Sanford, Caryville, St. Mark, St. Elizabeth's, Howard. If you could go five, right? You could go 5-2, I think anybody will be happy. Maybe 4-3. but that's a tough last thing. But it got off to a good start last night against Appoquinimink.
Yeah, again, Appo's been hot too. That's a big win for the Sows. That'll take us to number 9, and a team we saw yesterday, William Penn, 8-4 on the season. After that, I believe 8-5 after the loss yesterday to Howard. That game going to overtime. William Penn was up double digits in that game. Howard storms back in the second half, sends it to overtime, and then a Richards Powell 3 gives them the win in overtime. I'm telling you, it's going to be a fun year in boys basketball. William Penn at number 9. Laurel, we will see them tomorrow night against Caravel. They're at 8 at 10-3. Polytech gets that 7 spot. Appo at 6, and then Howard at 5 at 9-2. St. George's, how about the season they've had so far? 12-2. We had a chance to check them out last Friday night in a win over Havre de Grace. They've got an impressive roster and impressive performances for them through their first 14 games. They're at the 4th spot. They've got 12 wins. Tower Hill, your defending state champions, at number 3. Seaford at 12-1 at 2. And then, of course, Middletown, the Cavaliers, who you just saw here on Delaware Live Sports, is your top-ranked team in the state here as we progress into February. Guys, here we are on February 1st. What stands out to you about that new top 10?
St. George's going from not ranked to number 4 immediately comes to mind. That's pretty rare that we see teams make that kind of a jump this deep into the season. Maybe not so rare in the first couple of weeks, but that's one thing. And then Sally's, like Jay was mentioning, their schedule, they beat Middletown, they beat Appo, they did lose William Penn. They have Tower Hill tomorrow night at 6:30. Maybe the Sal's make that kind of jump, depending how they have Sanford on Saturday night. Depending on how they get through the next couple of games, that you might see them at 5 or 6 at this point next Wednesday when we're back at B-Dubs. They're playing really well. They're tough to play against, especially at home. And they had last night at home. They had Middletown at home. Sanford's a neutral site. They had Tower Hills at home. So it's coming together for Taylor and his team.
And again, you mentioned St. George's going from unranked to that 4th spot. Jaden Bull and company looked good in that win over Havre de Grace. I know I hadn't had a chance to check them out a lot this year, see some of those wins, William Penn and others, and you think, I want to go see St. George. Let's see how good they are. They impressed me in that win on Friday night in front of course, Nashawn Busy Bones Highland, who was in the house for his jersey retirement. You can catch that interview on Delaware Live Sports. But they looked good. They're now the 4th-ranked team, a team to keep an eye on as we progress here. And how about this? You got Middletown, Seaford, St. George's in the top 4. So, again, Lower Delaware now coming in and making their presence felt in the top 5 here in basketball so far.
It is, and then you look at another team, Laurel, who's having a great year. You got Polytech in there. It's a who's who, and there's some teams in there that aren't in there that are great teams like Caravel and Sanford. Both just outside looking in. I just think this tournament's wide open this year. To me, I could not. In years past, you always had that favorite going into the tournament.
Yeah.
I don't see a favorite this year. There's just so much competitive balance. If I had to pick a favorite, it'd probably be that Middletown or Seaford team. But I just think it's wide open. And it's going to be a fun last 6 weeks, 4 weeks of the regular season and then 2 weeks of the playoffs. It's going to be outstanding.
Yeah, it is. Well, guys, that's your boys basketball top 10. Let's now fast forward to the new girls basketball top 10, and it all begins at number 10, going from unranked into the rankings here at 11-2 is the Woodbridge Blue Raiders. Woodbridge gets that 10 spot, getting that 9 spot, staying put from where they were last week at 9 or at 11-3 is the Appo girls. So the Jags, who we just had a chance to talk to, up in the top 10 at number 9. Delmarva Christian remaining undefeated, I believe, still 13-0. What I'm looking at could be maybe 14-0 now. They are your 8th ranked team. Cape Henlopen 12-2, your 7th ranked team, and the Auks from Archmere at the 6th spot at 10-2. Now into the top 5, Caravel at 9-4. AI DuPont, just 1 loss for the Tigers so far this season. They're at 12-1 at the 4th spot. And then Tatnall at 10-1 at 3. Sanford 10-3 at 2. And then the undefeated Ursuline Raiders at number 1. So 14-0 for Ursuline. They continue to be the top team in the state. Guys, what stands out to you looking at the girls' top 10?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a little different than the boys, right? The girls, it's top heavy with Ursuline, Sanford, Tatnall, AI DuPont. I would throw in there, Caravel. Those are probably the 5 teams that right now that are a little bit above everyone else. right now, Arslan's with their win against Archmere yesterday by it was like 25 points, win over the 6th-ranked team. So I mean, it just shows that, and St. Elizabeth's isn't in there. They're a good team, but sitting at 500 right now. There's a lot of good teams, but I think it's very top heavy with Ursuline, Sanford, and Tatnall. Sanford defeated Tatnall yesterday. Tatnall beat AI, and that's why you have that's why they're 2, 3, and 4. And Sanford will get their chance against Ursuline next Friday night. So
February 10th. I know we've been talking about that one for a while. Now just 9 days away from that highly anticipated number 1 versus number 2 matchup. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, we're excited. We're going to be in the building and talk to the AD, Stephanie Mark, and she's got a spot set aside for us where the students won't be coming right in front of us. But that's going to be a zoo in that place, and the fun kind. Yesterday Tatnall led Sanford after 3 quarters, but Dallas Pierce is going to be playing at UMass next year with Fatty Mayo and Stephanie Kaleja. Dallas scored 21 points in the second half, and they really they shut down Emma Kirby in the second half, and Sanford won going away by 10. That was a good one. I talked to AI's coach yesterday. Lucky Price was in the building watching that Sanford game, and they beat Middletown the other day. They finished with 4 players because of they were missing a couple players because of illness, and I think they had a couple foul outs, but they were able to hang on playing 4 against 5. So it's been a pretty special year for AI. If you haven't seen him play, when you got to see My Trader before it's too late, because she really is one of the hidden talents in Delaware that people just don't know enough about. But Lucky's doing a great job there, and that's a pretty fair list. Margaret Christian, I think they'd be higher, but their schedule's just a little weaker than some of the other. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's a little weaker than some of the other ones, but I wouldn't. I don't think I'd want to play them in the tournament because they've got a couple players who can just light it up at any time.
Again, Delmarva Christian undefeated on the season, a team to keep an eye out on. But you mentioned Ursuline and Sanford still sitting at the top of those rankings. February 10th, circle it on your calendar. We're going to be bringing that one to you live right here on Delaware Live Sports. There's your rankings for boys and girls basketball. I also know we got some wrestling going on tonight, right? Down south with Benny Mitchell and the crew, Smyrna and Caesar Rodney. Historically great match year in and year out. You can catch that one live right now. Of course, don't flip over there till after the show, but it's going to be a fantastic match, one of the better environments as well in Delaware, in the state of Delaware for wrestling.
Nick, also in wrestling, William Penn is at Salesianum tonight.
That's right.
And Sussex Central and Sally's wrestle on Saturday, kind of overshadowed by the SL24. But if you're a wrestling fan, Saturday at Salesianum, I think 12:15. Central, I think, is 16-0 in dual meets. And there's a lot of dual meets. And
I'll tell you, the dual meet season has been great so far. We've had some upsets. It's been a fun year, both on the hardwood and on the mat here in the winter sports season.
Yeah.
That's right. It's going to be exciting playoff
it's good
time
to see.
all
I know
around.
You guys did the William Penn match against Smyrna, I believe. Benny was Benny there?
Yeah, Benny was.
Yeah, Benny was there.
And it's good to see, Penn, back in the dark ages when I was in high school, William Penn was one of the dominant
best, yeah.
wrestling. Them and St. Mark's are really it. And it's good to see the Colonials breaking through again up
St.
there.
Mark's as well. Both of them back
And St.
on
Mark's.
the rise. That's
Don't mean
great
to leave out
see.
the Spartans there also.
But again, I still have that in my
How
house.
about
I have
Tower Hill?
I have the old painting.
Tower-
beat St. Mark's right on the last
Tower, I
match the
believe,
other
still
night.
undefeated,
Tower Hill's
so-
got a lot of
Tower
talent as
Hill
well. They've got a
defeated
great
St.
up and
Mark's.
down
Yeah.
that lineup that they have. And again, I still have the William Penn St. Mark's Wrestling painting in my house in the basement from way back in the day. So I know how much those matches used to mean here in the state
I know
of
Benny
Delaware.
wishes we had more wrestling talk. There you go, Benny.
We could do a whole show.
We could do a whole
on
show on wrestling.
That's right, and you might see that. Of course, we're going to sit down. New rankings came out today for wrestling on Delaware Live Sports. You can check those out on the website. And as always, we'll have before the individual state tournament, we'll have a preview show live before that comes early
And that got
March.
pushed back this year, didn't it?
I think it's the
a
March
weekend
3rd
or
and
two.
4th, I believe, this year.
The wrestling
state tournament at Cape Elliott.
They moved
I'm
it
gonna
back,
say
I
March
think,
3rd
because
and
it was
4th.
football ending later. Wrestling has moved the season back a week to give the kids a chance to recover after football before they started the wrestling season.
No, man, good job there. So let's keep it rolling here in the show. We've got, of course, our one roundtable hot topic for discussion here, guys. And it's been something that's not only been a hot topic here in the state of Delaware in terms of high school sports, but overall in college athletics as well. You hear the transfer portal here the last couple of years with the COVID year. I mean, it has just been wacky in terms of eligibility and where kids can't play in terms of college sports alone, but also now in high school sports. We're seeing it here in Delaware. You see it in the surrounding states as well. But a lot of stuff going on with the transfers, and they're also thinking about having some new rules and regulations with that. I mean, we've grown accustomed to it going a certain way so far, and, I don't know if there's really, a fine line between, allowing a kid to play or not. We've seen different instances over the years. But let's just talk about the rule as it stands now, guys, and maybe what some of these changes could be to the rules and regulations with transfers.
I think the thing they got to do is stop. Right now these waiver hearings are just taking up way too much time, and they're not getting to them on time, and these kids are starting the season ineligible,
so
waiting.
they can't play, right?
It's just too much on the thing. So I just think they need a rule in place to, I guess, allow them to play or have some kind of thing where they don't have to wait until the board meeting to go and present their case, because it's just they're getting flooded. I heard there's like 12 or 13 waiting on the next agenda, and some of them are
sports. We're talking.
You're talking spring sports.
Spring sports.
And you have some of the winter sports that maybe the kid transferred last minute, or some eligibility, or they're fighting prior to the thing, and it goes to the state, and then the state kicks it back to the DIAA, and by the time it's over, this season's over. So I think they got to come up with some way to kind of get rid of that process of, and how they do that. That's anyone's guess. And then another thing is just what I would do is maybe make the kids eligible for the regular season and ineligible for the playoffs, maybe, or you got to find a way. It's right now it's just too many transfers happening, and give them a freebie. A kid should be allowed to transfer once, but now you have some kids transferring every year.
Yeah.
I mean, you are allowed to transfer up after your freshman or sophomore year without penalty, and you're immediately eligible with some minor exceptions. And Joe's talking about the hearings. The problem that I see is it's too subjective. They have these hearings which are not open to the public, and they probably shouldn't be, and they come out and vote in open session. But it's a subjective thing. A lot of states have objective transfer rules where they let you transfer once, and if you transfer again, the rule is you can't play in the postseason. That's a Pennsylvania thing. New Jersey, you're ineligible for a certain percentage of the next season. So there are ways to do this. I know the DIAA is supposed to be looking into it, but it's it's a member of the DIAA board said it's the Wild West, and he was
that's a good way of putting it, right?
Kind of right. You can't transfer for athletic reasons, but let's face it. If you're not playing, you're going to go find a school where you are going to play, and they just make up reasons why they're transferring that don't have anything to do with sports. And kids should be able to go to school wherever he wants or she wants. They know the rules going in, and then they can make a decision. If I'm going to be ineligible for 50% of the next football season, then so be it. I'm going to be happier going to school at school X. So it just takes too long. It holds up these DIAA meetings for 2, 3, 4 hours, and you're asking people to have jobs to take a full day so they can sit around and listen to transfer proceedings. That's too much.
Again, so a lot to still dive into there. Some new rules and regulations maybe to come in terms of transfers. But you said it, guys. It's been a hectic last couple years in terms of eligibility, et cetera. But not only at the high school level with what we're concerned about, but also in the college and the transfer portal, et cetera.
I think college basketball between last year and this year, I read somewhere 1,700 college basketball players changed schools in the last year.
And again, it might not have a direct effect on it, right? But when you're in a high school kid, you see the transfer portal being as popular it is. Like, all these kids can go wherever they want 1 year, and they're going to 3 schools, whatever. Yeah. And the high school kids think, hey, we could do that too here, right? Why not try it out? And we're seeing a little bit of that here this season. I'm sure we will see some more as it progresses.
The other thing that came up at the last DIAA meeting that they will be discussing at some point is NIL. So there are states that allow their high school students to do name, image, and likeness deals, and I imagine that's going to be coming to Delaware at some point. So it's the free market at work, I guess.
That's true. Again, we'll stay zoned into that topic here as we progress in our high school sports. And now, guys, it'll take us to a break. We're going to take one break before we come back and wrap it up here from Buffalo Wild Wings' Middletown location. Thanks for tuning in to DLS Weekly.
I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all this seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We love Ferris. I would always pass by Ferris.
To introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise to Delaware. To date, they operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings in Delaware and Maryland. Also the Stone Balloon and Limestone Barbecue. And let's not forget Expectation and 5 Jersey Mikes throughout Delaware. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality.
And welcome back inside DLS Weekly. Nick Alessandrini, Jason Winchell, and Mike Lang. Now we're going to have some fun here before we close out the show. A special of Winchell's way too early tournament seedings. We like to talk about, if the season were to end today, where would these teams be in terms of the Delaware playoff bracket in basketball? So, Jason, we're going to play a game here. You're going to give me and Mike some teams, right? And just tell us
two boys, 2 girls teams. We're going to play in, which means they're currently in my bracket seeded 1 through 16.
Okay.
Bubble, which would be 17 through 26. Remember, only 24 teams make it.
Mm-hmm.
And then out, which would be 27 and further down the ranking. So I'm going to give you each 2 girls and 2 boys. Nick, I'll start with you.
Okay,
I'll give you.
Let's do it.
Let's do the girls first. Let's go Howard girls, Smyrna girls.
Oh, so both of them here. So here we go. So I'm going to say, Howard girls on the bubble. And I'm going to go with Smyrna. So we have on the bubble or top 16 seed or out. I'm going to go Smyrna top 16 seed and Howard on the bubble. What do we got?
You're 2 for 2.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
There we go.
I thought for sure Smyrna, you would think they'd really be on the bubble.
That tricked me a little bit. So talk a little bit about the Smyrna team and where
Smyrna's having a fantastic year. They're 9-4. That Henlope and North has some quality teams in it, in Sussex Tech, Cape Henlope, and a bunch of other teams that give them. Bollytech is a 2 bonus point game,
yeah.
so they're getting their bonus points, and they're 10-4. So a great season so far for Smyrna, and they're currently in the 15th spot. So they're right there.
They're in there. And you talked a little bit about Howard. They're coming off a win over William Penn on Monday. That improves their record now as I look it up here too. Oh, so they're 7-5. Talk a little bit about the Howard girls right on the bubble.
Yeah, they're right on the bubble. They're sitting. I have them currently in at 22, but they're. I think they're going to be most likely the Flight B champs, as long as they're in the top half. They will get the auto bid, and right now they're right.
The Howard girls?
Yeah.
I think AI is gonna.
Oh yeah, AI girls. They haven't played Howard, have they?
I don't believe so.
So yeah, the winner of that game would get it, but yeah, AI. But that
So they played on the 24th.
That
It's
AI
a big
won.
game. Where's that game?
AI won that game, and they don't play each other. The
Okay,
rest of the
so
season.
AI's got the
24th.
conference.
That's like the last day of the season, right around there.
Or that was back on January.
Oh,
24th.
January 24th.
They already played.
So
Okay.
Howard hanging right on the bubble. Smyrna, they're right in the top 16.
Do you want your boys teams, or you want me to go to Mike and do his girls?
You know what? Let's do Mike's girls here.
All right, Mike. You got Padua girls and ECHS girls.
Padua, I'd say at 5-10 just doesn't have enough wins, so I'd say they're probably currently out. ECHS 12-2. schedule's not the best, not a lot of bonus points in there. I would think they'd be bubble.
So you went 1 for 2. ECHS bubble, Padua bubble. Padua is sitting in the 25th spot right now.
Yeah, they're not going to let me back in the building.
Outside
now.
looking in the rankings. Their strength of schedule is really good. They've played 8 teams that's given them double bonus points. Wow. So, they don't win those games, but you get the same number of points for playing those, teams.
Including our guests tonight.
Yep. So it's right now Mike's right. Their schedule is hard coming in. They got Ursuline, they got St. Mark's again. So bonus points are there, but they might have to steal a win to just safely get in. They're like I said, they're 25th. So right now they're outside looking in, but real close.
All right, Jay, hit me.
All right, so boys side, Nick will give you Tatma boys and Delmarva Christian boys.
Okay, so I'm going to start with Delmarva Christian. I feel like I have a better grasp on what they've been doing this season. I think Delmarva Christian's got to be in. I'm going to say they're got to be in. Are they in the top 16? Are they hovering around 16, Jay?
Nah, they're on the bottom half of the bubble. Will probably. If I had to guess right now, I think they'll be out
right now.
They have a good record. Strength of schedule not there, and a bad. I should say a couple 0-point losses to St. Mark's and Charter right now. It isn't helping their cause.
So there you go. Again, you can have a good record, but strength of schedule does matter. So hit me with the other one, Tatno boys.
Yep.
Again, I've been seeing a little bit of a struggle lately for the Hornets. I'm going to say right now, if it were to end today, they'd be outside looking in.
They are currently in the 28th spot. Though they do have strength of schedule there, so if they could get some wins coming down the stretch, maybe they could sneak in there. But right now, you are right; they're outside looking in.
Tatno Hornets.
And Mike,
let's see what
you
got.
get Archmere boys and Sussex Central boys.
All right, so I've seen a lot of Hawks this year.
Yes, you have, Mike.
I've seen the Hawks. I feel like I'm almost part of the team. I would say the Archmere boys are on the bubble, and Central, I want to say, is currently in. I think the Henlopen North really helps them out.
I want to say, during the winter, I usually pay attention to the Golden Knights wrestling program, but this year, after they got some good wins on the hardwood, Jay.
Yeah, they do. Mike, you are wrong on both. Sussex Central boys are on the bubble.
On the bubble.
Currently sitting in the 19th spot.
Oh, I missed by 2 spots.
Yeah, so, I mean, you were close.
3 spots.
And Archmere's just outside looking in. They're in the 28th position, right behind Tatnall, who they beat. So it's, they will get the tiebreaker on Tatnall, but it'll be interesting. They got a lot of tough ones coming up, a lot of bonus points on their schedule, a chance to steal some wins. That Diamond State Conference is just not as strong as some of the other conferences. But, you got St. E's and Conrad that are the 2 teams.
Archmere's only played 11 games thus far, and they pack them in the last couple of weeks, but they start with they have a game tomorrow, Jay, against Wilmington Charter, a game they should win. But I saw Charter the other day, and they gave Concord everything they wanted, but they have Tower Hill on Saturday. So
that Charter team made a nice run last year, right? Obviously, no Evan Brown this year.
Well, I'm talking about the boys.
Oh, the boys.
Yeah, the Charter girls aren't not bad either. So Archmere's got Friends and Conrad, NAI left on the schedule on Concord, so they're gonna have to win a couple of those games.
And again, for the sake of time, though, I'm just gonna throw 2 more out to you because I just want to know generally. We won't play the game, but I just want to know where these 2 teams stand in your head as we continue here, because these aren't on our list. But I want to talk a little bit about the St. E's girls and the Indian Rivers boys. So if it were to end today, I talked to some people about the Indian River program down south here on the hardwood. How are they looking right now?
Indian River, it benefits from playing in that Henlopen South this year with Laurel and Seaford. They have 10 wins. They have some quality wins over Archmere and some other teams that will probably give them bonus points at the end. Right now, Indian River would have a first-round home game as I have them currently sitting at 16.
How about that? So good down for Indian River. A nice season for them on the basketball.
Maybe somebody's got to travel to Dagsboro.
What was the other? Oh, St. E's girls.
That's a good team.
Been in the Final Four, won a championship just a few years ago. How are they looking right now?
Well, if you asked me this a couple weeks ago, they were outside looking in. They've really picked up some ground. They got a couple nice wins over St. Mark's and DMA in that stretch. They have a tough losses to Caravel, and they have Sanford coming up. So they are in, and right now they are like a 14th seed, which is not where you're used to seeing St. E's.
They're in.
But they're in. And like I said, they got some tough games. The problem with St. E's is they're not a very deep team. So, they get in foul trouble. Like we saw, Mike mentioned AI finished with a game with 4.
Yeah.
It could possibly St. E's could finish a game with 4. And that could hurt come tournament time. But very good team, quality wins. A couple weeks ago, like I said, they were outside looking in. And look at the jump they made in 2 weeks with some nice wins. Still games on their schedule where they could pick up some 4-point wins with and some other stuff. So good team, and I think they're gonna firmly be in.
Yes, there you have it. A little Winchell's way too early with some fun on where some teams would be if the season ended today. We still got about 4 weeks left in the regular season. There's going to be some great games mixed in there. It's going to be a lot of fun as we head into the postseason. But, guys, that'll take us to our top plays of the week for week number 4. And there are some good ones. Nick, take it away. Check out the top plays.
Here we go, Delaware Live Sports Winter Week 4 top plays. Let's get started here at number 10 with Gianna Catone to Reagan Brady. Check out the Quakers and this one-handed pass from Catone up ahead to Brady, who's able to finish it off. What a play there to get us rolling at number 10. Then on to number 9 and Daniel Harvey to Hodge Bell. What a game it was between Caravel and Appo. In transition, Harvey around the back and Hodge Bell able to finish it off for 2. More from this game coming in just a little bit. Let's head over to number 8, though, and to the Sanford School to check out Jaden Taylor. He's had a couple plays this year. How about a few more dunks from him? That one on the left side of the baseline, and then 2 for the price of $1. Another one for Jaden Taylor. 2 throwdowns from each side of the rim for the Sanford Warriors at number 8. Then to number 7, we've got 2 more for you. Trevor Webster going to get us started. The freshman from Caravel. Check out the transition defense. Elevates with the left hand and sends that one back. And then Blair Thomas for St. George's. He's going to do it with the right hand. That one sent into the wall for St. George's. Then on to number 6 and Kenyon Littleton. This one a double leg for the upset and the big win. Littleton takes down the 3rd-ranked wrestler Silver with the double leg, and he gets the win at number 6. On to number 5, 2 plays from the Sal's. Up first, Kareem Thomas, the defense, backcourt pressure, able to steal it. He flushes it down with 2 hands. And then Isaiah Hinton, he's going to get in on the dunk party as well. More defense to offense. In transition, throws it down. How about the elevation and the power from the left hand of Isaiah Hinton? Now over to Cape Henlopen. It's a dunk party this week on Delaware Live Sports. Jacob Shell in transition, catches one down underneath. What a dunk by Shell. He was able to elevate with some contact and finish. And then over to number 3. This was what I was alluding to earlier. Hodge Bell, time running down, 3 seconds. The mid-range jumper goes up and in for Hodge Bell, sending that game into overtime, and the Jaguars would pull it out in OT. Now to number 2 and Jordan Spencer, another one coming down to the wire. Sanford and friends, they find Spencer in the corner, and he buries the side pocket 3 for the game-winning bucket, and the Warriors get the win over the Quakers. And that takes us to the mat for our top play of the week. Ryder Robinson in a heavyweight match with Patrick Donahue, Sussex Central, and he's going to get the lift, the toss. He's looking for 6, and he gets it. A big pin there for Ryder Robinson, and Sussex Central gets the win in the match. 36-30 as your top plays this week. Here we go.
Ryder Robinson with your top play of the week for week number 4 here in our winter sports season. A special thanks to Middletown boys basketball and Appoquinimink girls basketball, both with already 11 wins on the season, both with postseason high expectations in about a month or 2. A special thanks to them for taking the time out of their Wednesdays to join us here at the Middletown Buffalo Wild Wings. Guys, great debut here at our Middletown B-Dubs location, and how we feel? Good show tonight, ready for a great week of sports action?
Yeah, great show, and what a busy weekend. Big games tomorrow night. I will probably be at Sally's before work, catching the game against Tower Hill in that championship rematch. You got William Penn St. Elizabeth's tomorrow night. You got Laurel Caravel tomorrow night. A lot of big games tomorrow night. carry into the weekend. And the weekend you got the big three at the SL to end the show with St. George's, Zappo, Middletown, Howard, and Swayze and Sanford.
That's right, man. Try and get over there for sure. If you haven't, again, SL24 for a great cause, a great weekend of games. Check it out. Get over to the Chase Fieldhouse if you can. Mike, good weekend ahead for you?
Yeah, I'm hoping to spend some quality time at the Chase Fieldhouse. And,
Absolutely.
You know, it's what you wait all winter, right? It's cold. It's supposed to be cold this weekend, so get inside and.
I think 9 degrees on Saturday. Oh, sounds just absolutely awful. But at least the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. Got a week and a half to digest. We'll see if we can get to Arizona. Anybody want to take a trip out to Glendale for a Super Bowl? That's right. Prices are through the roof right now.
Does anybody know anybody?
I know Glenn Frazier.
So we're on that credential list. We gotta.
How about the? Does Delaware not have any money? Can we get?
That's right. We're going to try to get funded to head over to Arizona. If you'd like to fund our trip to cover the Eagles, you can Venmo at 302 Sports. Yeah, it's if only Fox had the Super Bowl this year, right? At CBS, but Fox will be there. We'll have to run it by him and see if we can get there. But fantastic show tonight. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. We are live tomorrow night for Caravel and Laurel basketball. Some emergencies are underway right now on Delaware Live Sports. And then obviously some great matchups next week with St. George's and Middletown on Monday night. So for Nick Allison, Drini, Jason Winchell, and Mike Lang, we will see you tomorrow night and this weekend. Have a good one, everybody.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one